program here, and it is good to be Saquon Barkley. The accolades for Barkley keep growing as an Eagle. Now he is the highest paid running back ever. After getting a 2-year, $41.2 million extension with Philly, the deal, $36 million in guarantees. This comes just 1 year after Barkley signed that initial 3-year, $38 million deal with the Birds last March. How'd that work out? Well, about as good as you can expect, and it is well-deserved after the monster 2024 campaign that Barkley put together. Did this in Photoshop, or is this Word? Say Word. Included in the playoffs, Saquon ran for more yards than anyone in league history. He beat Terrell Davis's old mark. He won AP Offensive Player of the Year, capped it off with a Super Bowl ring, and then an engagement ring. Okay. Barkley and the Birds 6-1 to repeat as champs next season, tied with Kansas City, 6-1 odds, I should say, tied with Kansas City for the best odds at ESPN Bet.
3-8. That's how the Jets fared with Davante Adams after acquiring him. Their now former receiver. New York released him yesterday, doing so 3 weeks after parting ways with the reason they traded for Adams, Aaron Rodgers. Adams was due more than $38 million on the salary cap, so the move is not a surprise. The Jets clear nearly $30 million from this year's cap, just about doubling the space that they had previously.
From a release to a restructure, the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb have reworked the 4-year, $136 million deal he signed last year. His $26.5 million base was converted into a signing bonus, which drops his cap number and frees up about $20 million in space for what Dallas is hoping is more room to work out a long-term deal with Micah Parsons.
Turns out only 2 players league-wide got franchise tagged, and Sam Darnold was not one of them. Minnesota did not tag the soon-to-be free agent quarterback ahead of yesterday's 4 p.m. Eastern deadline. That means Darnold's agent will be able to negotiate with other teams starting Monday noon Eastern when the free agent negotiating period begins. Adam Schefter reporting Minnesota is still interested in working to re-sign Sam the Man.
Terrible ways to make $26.2 million in salary, I'm sure. Being franchise tagged for the 2nd straight year in Cincinnati, probably not one of them if you're T. Higgins, and if it means you are closer to a long-term deal with the Bengals, which reportedly remains the goal for both sides. It's part of that AFC North contingent. NFL analyst Louis Riddick in the building, joining us this morning on SportsCenter. Louis, fantastic to see you. This is a Bengals team just a couple years removed from playing in a Super Bowl. That said, is this offseason going into next year still having to sign Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, make or break for Burrow and the Bengals?
No, I don't think it's make or break because, look, Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. He has 5 years left on his deal. He's a franchise quarterback, I think, but I think there's no question that there's a sense of urgency in Cincinnati because of the fact that Baltimore continues in their own division to make strides as far as knocking on that door of the Super Bowl and seeing if they can eventually kick it down and break through. And look, Cincinnati needs to keep pace considering they were in the Super Bowl just recently. So I think it's important for them to make sure that they take care of their pillar players, their foundational players. And, obviously Joe is one of those. Jamar is already, he's going to get his. T. Higgins needs to be taken care of on a long-term basis. You can't let a franchise pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson get out of there. So I think these are all important things in order for them to get done because of the fact that, 1, it's the right thing to do when you're trying to build a winning organization, and 2, they need to keep pace with the rest of the teams in their division in the AFC overall. You just don't want to lose ground.
Triple Crown winner in Jamar Chase. T. Higgins could be a wide receiver 1 on 25 teams across the NFL, and obviously Trey, the league leader in sacks last season. Let's stay in the North, the NFC North. Maybe not for Sam Darnold. I don't know. He wasn't tagged yesterday. What team is the best fit for Darnold as he now enters free agency next week?
Yeah, the team that's the best fit and the team that is most feasible or, you could really see him going there maybe don't necessarily add up. But the best fit for Sam Darnold is an offensive structure and a coaching staff similar to what Cleveland is able to put on, to present to him. I think going to an offense where it's a run-centric offense, it's a play-action, pass-centric offense, and it's someone who teaches the game the way in which Kevin Stefanski teaches it in Cleveland is what ideally Sam needs. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for him. It's great for Matthew Stafford that he wasn't able to maybe explore the option of going to the LA Rams because that would have been the absolute perfect fit. But I think this is a situation in Cleveland that would really fit him. Cleveland has the second worst salary cap situation in the NFL heading here into the 2025-2026 league year. So I don't know if that's going to happen. And they're going to be players in the draft for a quarterback. But that's where I think for him, from a football perspective, it'd be best for him to wind up.
All right, time for that fan in Cleveland that's got all the last names of every quarterback that's played for him the last 20 years to potentially Add another one. Louis Riddick joining us this morning on SportsCenter. Louis, much appreciated.
You bet.
For Barkley, keep growing as an Eagle. Now he is the highest paid running back ever after getting a 2-year, $41.2 million extension with Philly. The deal has $36 million in guarantees. This comes just 1 year after Barkley signed that initial 3-year, $38 million deal with the Birds last March. The return on investment, high. Return of Louis Riddick, also present. Louis, has Saquon redefined this running back position?
I think what he's done is he has set forth, certain characteristics that every running back, if you want to get paid, you better be able to put on full display. And I think the number one thing is this, Gary. It's about really being able to produce explosive plays, plus 20-yard chunks, taking the ball 60 yards at the drop of a hat on a single play and being able to flip the game the same way that we typically look at wide receivers in the same way in which we value wide receivers. And that's why their average per year has exploded in terms of the type of money that they make. Now, obviously, running back comes with a higher rate of injury. It's a much more physical position. But I think what Saquon has shown you is this, and what he has shown the rest of the running backs is this. If you can carry a football team from an explosive play component and you can be that equalizer the same way in which the highest paid wide receivers are, you'll get your money. You'll get your money. So I think every team, look, this draft this year is loaded with guys like this. This is why Ashton Genty is going to be someone who's going to go off the board from Boise State very early in the draft, because he produced explosive plays at a historic clip this year at Boise, and teams are looking for guys who can do that.
Last season's running back renaissance is awesome to see, because these guys deserve every penny that they're getting. Saquon over 2,500 yards in the regular season, postseason, reset that mark in the NFL. All right, 50 days until the draft. Our insider Jordan Reed has the Giants trading up to that number 1 pick to go and get what many are seeing as the best quarterback available in Cam Ward. Louis, should the Giants make that move?
Well, first and foremost, they have to feel convicted in everything that Cam Ward brings to the table in order for them to do that. And if they do, and I believe they would be well within their right to feel that way, because I've been around Cam Ward, I've talked to the people at Miami, talked to people at Washington State, then they should go ahead and make that move. This guy is the consummate leader. He is an alpha. He is a guy who went to one of the most historic college football programs in Miami that has had some of the greatest college football players that the game has ever seen. And he impressed the coaches down there in such a way that they considered him to be one of the greatest leaders that have ever walked through the doors there at Miami's football complex. That's saying something. And this is something really that the New York Giants need. It's more than just about what the quarterback position brings to the table on the football field. They need someone who was the face of the franchise. They need someone at the most important position in all of football to be able to stand up, take the questions, rally the troops, and play at a high level. Cam Ward can do that.
A 0-star recruit might just become the number 1 overall pick in next month's NFL draft. Louis Riddick back with us on Sports.
Những phần dây dưa đi. Luồn hết ra mặt sau cho mình. Ok rồi, sẽ được một cái phần trang trí như thế này. Bây giờ mình sẽ thắt nút vào để tạo cái nơ. Để mình thắt nút tạo cái nơ nhé, mình thắt ở chính giữa là được.